The scary thing with crocodiles is they're one of the only animals that consider people as food. And they will quite readily take a human being, knowing full well what we are.
The thinking on crocodiles is that they're not capable of emotions such as love and affection and loyalty, etc. They have an ancient brain with a very limited frontal lobe. So generally scientists would say that, they're basically motivated purely by survival and by food or protection. Coming to Costa Rica, there's just this real sense of almost going back in time into a kind of prehistoric world. I'm looking for a man called Juan Betrayal. He's really well known in these parts because he was actually attacked by a huge crocodile and dragged underwater, and managed to escape by digging his fingers in its eyes. And strangely, for a man who's had this near-death experience with a crocodile, instead of that driving him away, it's actually drawn him to these animals, and he's doing something quite remarkable.
actually ironically easier to work with because they're slow. Can't move as fast.
Pues todos los cocodrilos no son tan agresivos como a veces parecen. Entonces, para darles a entender a la gente que hay que cuidarlos, que hay que conservarlos y que no son como a veces se cree que devoran todo y todo esto. Entonces, es para un poco más de concientización a las personas que no hay que tenerles tanto miedo, sino que hay que conocerlos.
And what I found even more remarkable is that they are wild animals. In other words, they're living in a wild river. They're not pendant, and yet he had the sort of the sense to actually reach down and touch its nose.
Luego cuando yo ya sentí que ya yo no aguantaba más, entonces yo dije que ya, que sea la mano de Dios. Y después me sacó, Chito estaba ahí nada, pescando. Y él me sacó, se dio un bombazo y seguramente al sentir que
You see the face, the
Yeah,
eyes?
he's happy. He's looking.
See it? When you see the eyes
Open.
ugly,
Yeah.
it's a little
Yeah.
something happened, but he's really happy with this. The eyes. Trust me. I think he don't want to make me never hurt me because we have a 20 years together, and maybe we would have a problem in 3 years, 2 years, and now it's 20 years and nothing.
Yeah, meeting Chito is just like, my strongest impression was almost, it's like meeting a kind of modern day shaman. He clearly has a very, very strong affinity with nature, and he spent a huge amount of time in nature as well. And that passion, that commitment is very, very evident. Okay, when a poacher come here, you see the same like a hole. The incredible thing is that once Pocho actually regained his bulk and he started recovering, word got out that Chito had this animal, and of course he didn't have a license for it. So the police came to try and take it away from him. And he brought it to this area. There's a beautiful little pond over there which is very hidden. And basically when the police did come, he would come and stay here and he'd live inside here. So he could be very close to Pocho. And then applied for papers. And once he got the papers, he then felt safe to take Pocho back.
My first wife, she left me because I spent so many hours here, so many days with Poncho, so she thinks I'm crazy. How I want to be so many days with animals, and that skinny animal. What the hell are you doing with that skinny animal, she say. And I'm here to save Pocho, because somebody want to take Pocho, so I have to bring him here and spend my time here. So my first wife don't like it. She say I'm crazy, so she go. There was a lot of bats, and this was like my. I have a place here where I stay here, looking the Poncho right here, look straight. You see?
And he was sleeping right
Poncho
there.
going here. I was here, but I have everything rotten now.
Yeah.
My gone.
Yeah.
My machete only. I like my wife and I love her, but I can't get. I think I can't get another Poncho. But I can get another wife. But I can't get another Poncho. Because it's one in a million. And that was like a God give me a bless with Pocho.
No, nunca, porque Pocho es como un hijo para nosotros y uno nunca se sentiría celoso de un hijo hacia un padre. Son cariños diferentes. Y él entró y estaba mojado, entonces yo le pregunté por qué y me dijo que se había caído en el estanque que hay frente a la casa. Pero le seguí preguntando y preguntando y me di cuenta que era que estaba con el cocodrilo adentro.
Yo me entrego totalmente a Pocho. El sentimiento mío es como cuando usted se va a dormir a la cama, llega solo y se siente. Entonces me siento solo con ese amor que llevo. Pocho. O sea, es una tranquilidad, una pasión, una tranquilidad.
Chito just seems to have crossed what I think many people would just see as an impossible boundary. Crocodiles are really aggressive at night. It's when they hunt. And yet he somehow seems to have turned this to his advantage and actually used it to build intimacy with this animal. I'm just getting such a strong sense that they are actually capable of emotion more than we would have, ever imagined. And also watching this, I'm just getting a sense that that connection that I felt with that animal in the African cave, I think it was real.
like I feel like an animal. So they feel me like a brother, like something. But if I don't feel like an animal, I can't go close to them because I feel they want to think I'm a people and I want to hurt them.
A mí me gustaría ir a la laguna y jugar con Pocho, pero mis papás no me dejan.
When you look at this, it's very easy to quite quickly take it for granted. And I don't know of anyone else who has as intimate a relationship as Chito does with the reptile. But in the research that I've done, there have been people who've had relationships with reptiles for, up to 10 years, and everything's fine, and all of a sudden they get eaten. And I think you've just got to realize that every time he gets into the water, he's running a significant risk.
Relax, man, relax. Sleep a little bit, relax, enjoy. Cuando yo estoy hablando con la gente, digamos, de Pocho, yo me arrimo, yo me siento como un animal, como un lagarto. O sea, porque Pocho, me siento como o sea, me dice... Pocho no me ve a mí hace rato, entonces yo vengo y tal vez vine de San José, cuando vine con ellos vengo y me siento con él ahí, y al rato me descanso un rato ahí, el calor de él, yo me siento tranquilo y me acuesto ahí me leo un rato con él.
I think the one thing that you can't discount is that this animal was shot in the head, so it's not inconceivable that that has somehow modified its behavior. When you first see this, you immediately think it's impossible. And then, of course, you start to, you know, as a human being, you try and think of some kind of rational explanation for it. And the first thing that comes to mind, of course, is that it's a feeding dependency. But there are periods of time where he doesn't feed the animal for up to 3 weeks, and yet the animal still comes to him. It still seems to seek out that connection and that interaction with him.
Costa Rica! Africa! Way!
The day I feel afraid, no more show.
What I'm seeing today is just very much, it's like very commercial and it's almost a bit disappointing.
I thought, I can't believe this. And it's unbelievable. I mean, you know, I would never do that.
Carolina North. No. ¿Qué carajo más carga, no yo?
When I first saw those pictures of Chito, I immediately had this fantasy of him as being some kind of noble savage with this incredible connection with this animal that I could learn a great deal from. And when I met him, he absolutely lived up to that fantasy on many, many levels. But when I saw that show, I was in many ways just devastated because it just challenged my whole fantasy of what I thought Chito was and what he represented. And I really struggled with that. I almost just wanted to pretend that that wasn't happening. And suddenly it struck me that shaman were showmen. You know, that's to a large degree where their power came from. They were the mediators between nature and the people. The show was actually the vehicle that the shaman uses to bridge that gap between his knowledge of nature and the people. And that's why it's important that the showman and the shaman actually live together in one person. Chito, you sure that I can get in and start to get close?
Yes, we worked a little bit this morning and the crocodile kind of feel you already.
Okay.
So don't afraid.
Okay.
Trust me, okay, and trust the crocodile.
Okay.
When I say, you stop a little bit. But don't run away, because if you run away, the guy want to think you're afraid and he want to follow you.
Okay.
So you feel man strong and looking face every time.
Okay.
And a very nice smile.
But it got quite hairy at times where I could sense that crocodile wanting to come in, and I just had to trust his ability to kind of read and manage the situation.
Well, I think everything in the natural life move and have something they can understand. But you have to have the direct communication, the chemic. So you want to have it, and you do it with heart, you feel it. If you don't do something good, you don't want to have nothing. So, Pocho, no, tranquilo, Pocho.
Well, I think that there's a, in the sort of, in the accepted canon, there's generally a taboo to interact with animals. There's a very strong sense that one should leave animals alone in wild places, and I think there's some very mindful thinking that underpins that. But by the same token, when you witness this kind of interaction, you can't help but think of the potential that we're not tapping into in terms of man's ability to actually build relationship with animal. Tomorrow I've decided to put the camera down and get into the water with the animal without Chito creating a barrier between me and that animal. I've learned the easy things. I've learned the cues, the arching of the back, the rapid eye movement, the things that you can learn from distant observation. But the critical thing that I need to put into practice and experience is actually trying to influence that animal through my own mental state. And the only way to do that is to actually get in the water and get close to the animal. So, Chito, can the crocodile feel your emotion? I mean, is that important?
Very important. That's the way you feel it. The way it's shaking you. So you can feel. Very special guy. The rain is not so good, but this guy good, okay? So you only trust me.
Yeah,
feel.
I trust you.
I need you take off your shirt, because Poncho, maybe you don't like that the way,
Okay. Can do that.
So you gotta
take it. Yeah, I think the risks. I mean, I've weighed up the risks, and the risks are fine. This is interesting because it's clearly the relationship is between the crocodile and Chito. That's where the trust lies. So that's the basis of this entire relationship. feel vulnerable. I mean, those teeth coming towards you, it's pretty, it's pretty scary. But in my mind, I already had a positive outcome.
Estresado, entonces puse la mano en la cola y me hice un toque en la cola ahí como que... Y ahí iba. Y el primer tiro sí que iba a explorar, pero el segundo tiro tal vez iba como no a comérselo, pero como decirle que fuera de aquí. O sea, no sé, algo así como que él defendiendo su territorio. Pero ya el segundo tiro sí venía, o sea, no lo vi que venía, desde que venía allá ya venía como muy más loco, ¿entiende? Explíquele eso.
Porque él es parte de mi familia y yo siempre he estado con él y yo lo quiero mucho y lo voy a cuidar cuando esté grande y lo quiero mucho, mucho, mucho. Por mucho tiempo lo voy a cuidar mucho, mucho.
Cosas que él ha hecho, yo comparto mucho con él. Cosas que él ha hecho hacia mí, nadie las ha visto porque yo a veces me levanto y estoy aquí, tengo un rato aquí, o estoy en un problema en la casa, o tengo algún enredo, entonces me vengo a sentar con Pocho. Y a veces estoy sentado con Pocho aquí, le traigo la colilla. Las relaciones con animales es muy importante para todo el mundo, que ellos puedan sentir eso, para el maltrato de los animales. Pero totalmente hay gente que no entiende. No, o sea, no entiende. Entonces yo al ver gente así como ustedes,